Today we're driving the 2024 AMG GLA 35. This is AMG's performance entry-level hatchback / small crossover, and it's quite a potent little pocket rocket. It has 302 horsepower, 295 pound-feet of torque from a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder and a 48-volt mild hybrid system. It's all-wheel drive, has an 8-speed dual-clutch transmission. It costs around $57,000. And as tested, it's 73 grand. So we've got quite a few options on this. I'll include all those details in the description. We have these very, very cool looking wheels that seem to take some inspiration from those racing aero covers back in the day. We have Continental Sport Contact 6 tires, 255/40 R20s in the front with a little bit of sidewall. Love to see that. And 255/40 R20s in the rear too, a square setup. Let's hop inside. We'll start this up. We'll walk you guys around it and we'll take it for a drive. You can see these sport seats here. Pretty pricey option, but they look nice and they're quite comfortable. This interior is looking pretty familiar. Like a lot of AMG products, it shares this dual screen setup. Infotainment is pretty responsive and relatively easy to use. There are some deeper menus for some functions, but you can always say, "Hey Mercedes,
how can I help?"
And she'll help you in whatever way she possibly can if she understands you. Most of the time though, if you know what to say, it works pretty well. We have physical climate controls down here, wireless CarPlay, no redundant controls down here with a scroll wheel or touchpad. This is all just a touch screen right here. And it's all pretty accessible right next to your hand on the steering wheel. Drive mode selection is right down here. We have slippery weather mode, individual mode, comfort, sport, and sport plus, adaptive dampers. You can change settings like traction control, transmission settings, turn on and off, auto stop start. But I don't know, with the 48-volt mild hybrid system, auto stop start is pretty seamless in this GLA 35. We have 3 seat memory settings, auto up-down windows on all 4 corners. Here's your parking brake. We get these ultra cool vents. Wireless charging down here. USB-C ports, some nice cup holders, a little bit of just a place to put things here, and a pretty deep but small, narrow cubby. Good sized glove box. The packaging with this GLA 35 is actually quite clever. The back seat is super roomy with tons of roof height. Let's go check that out. You get inside this thing, and it's actually a little bit bigger than you expect. It looks just like a taller hatchback, but it makes for really easy ingress and egress. And look how deep and low this floor is. This is my driving position. Seat is slammed on the rails all the way to the lowest position, and I have tons of room to stretch out, put my legs underneath. Nice tall door. I feel like I'm kind of hunkered down in these back seats too. This isn't really an armrest, but you can fold it down right here as a pass-through. We do get rear vents, a couple more USB ports down there, along with some storage. No seat back pockets with these seats, but we do have holes so you can tickle your front passengers. Pretty nice interior. Dual pane sunroof. Love the design of the steering wheel. A lot of haptic buttons, but once you kind of get accustomed to it, it seems to work pretty well. And just kind of a simple, nice looking, sporty cabin. This is your premium all-wheel drive hot hatchback / tiny fast SUV. It kind of splits that difference beautifully. Love the aerodynamics on this. We've got some lower rear diffusers, a spoiler. This has the Aerodynamics Package, so it's got these front canards. Love the blacked out headlights. Let's take a look in the back here. Power tailgate. Really nice, low load floor. Love to see that. No spare tire, just a fix-a-flat kit and your 12-volt battery. But pull this out and you have a very spacious space back here. Look at that, nice and tall. Do you really need much more room than that? That's equal to most SUVs and maybe a class above. like I said, very nice packaging here with this GLA 35 AMG. Premium fuel only. I think a pretty good looking car. Not really sure what happened to the GLA 45. It made about 75 more horsepower than this. I never got a chance to drive one of those, which was a bit of a bummer. This is slightly detuned, not as fast, but still has made for a pretty fun and enjoyable driving experience this week. We're going to take this GLA 35 out for a drive, but first, let's thank our sponsor for today's video, Lewis Jewelers. I am wearing the Tudor Black Bay Pro, and I've actually been really excited about this watch because I kind of want to buy one. I love the 24-hour dial with the GMT function, the super clean, easy to read face. This is one of the most legible watches I've had recently from Lewis Jewelers. It's just so easy to live with and use. Everyone complains about the thickness. You know what? If I didn't read about it or see it in tons of YouTube videos, I wouldn't have really cared. With this strap, we have a nice deployment clasp down here. Let's unscrew the crown and show you the GMT function. This is pretty cool. So pull it out once and you can adjust the hour hand, and that changes the date. You can go forward or back with the date, and you set the GMT by moving, you pull it out all the way to the third position by moving the minute hand. All right, so we'll reset this back to the correct time, but pretty neat functionality. I travel a lot to the West Coast, to Los Angeles, and if I'm just changing time zones really quickly and I don't want to really mess up my time, because it does keep pretty accurate time, all I have to do is just boom, 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 and we're either back in Detroit or back in LA. You guys might be seeing some more of this watch in future videos because I'm probably going to pick one up on the steel bracelet from Lewis Jewelers here soon. But enjoy it in this video. And as always, go check out Lewis Jewelers at lewisjewelers.com. Talk to DK. Tell him TheTopher sent you. If you're looking to get into your next luxury watch, he will take excellent care of you guys. And again, it's my go-to place for all my watch purchases, my servicing needs. They're located in Ann Arbor, Michigan, but they do business all over the country and all over the world. I'll throw a link to this Black Bay Pro in the top comment. Go check it out. Let's go drive this AMG GLA 35. I'll show you what the reverse camera looks like here. Flips out from the back hatch. Good 360 cam. Switches to the forward-facing camera, which rotates under steering angle. That's pretty cool. I assume the reverse camera does the same thing. No, it does not. Just the forward-facing cam. That's pretty clever, actually. Tiny little screen, but it's high res, and in this kind of darker, close to sunset lighting tonight, looks pretty good. So, for the most part, I really like the way this AMG GLA 35 drives. It just feels nice. It's got a solid, chunky little feel to it. For 73 grand, I think you could probably spend your money better in the AMG lineup, but this has a lot of options that, honestly, most people probably don't need. And for high 50s, low 60s, this actually might be a pretty decent buy. It does feel very premium in here, and it drives pretty well, honestly, for the money. The only complaint that I have is that this dual clutch, sometimes, especially when it's cold, and everything hasn't really had a chance to warm up, it feels like it's just learned how to drive a manual, and it's just kind of right in that clutch. There's a lot of delay off the line. You have to get a few starts out of this thing for it to really start to grab and give you a responsive start from a stoplight. So you just kind of have to be aware of that. Now that we've got some temperature in the car, I've been driving around for about 10-15 minutes or so. It feels pretty good, but it's not the smoothest DCT. There are some lurchy starts. For the most part, it shifts well, but off the line, it can be a little bit lazy sometimes. The head-up display is a little bit in the way, as you can see. If I lowered it any more, it would vanish. And if I raised it, it would completely block my vision. So I've just decided to turn the brightness off. Luckily, you can say, "Hey Mercedes. Hey Mercedes.
How may I help you?
Turn off head-up display."
I'm switching off the head-up display.
And it goes away. So that's useful. That's nice. Now we can see it ahead of us. While we're sitting at this light, we do have a few options for gauge clusters. This is the Super Sport display, which is very cool looking, but kind of hard to read. The Sport display, which is slightly less cool looking, but equally hard to read. The Classic display, which is easy to read, but boring looking and seems out of place in this AMG. And then there's Understated, which is just very minimal. Has kind of like a Pink Floyd thing going on over there. Navigation, assistance, off-road, and service. You know what? I kind of like Super Sport, but honestly, I'm not super happy with any of these displays. They all kind of leave me wanting for more, for something different. The screens, though, are beautifully high resolution. The graphics and everything are really expertly done. It's pretty amazing what AMG and Mercedes have done here with their displays. They are just gorgeous. All right, Sport Plus. We'll use the paddles here a little bit too. You can hear there's some fake piped-in engine noise. Pretty good steering feel. I have a good idea of what's going on with these Continentals. A lot of understeer. This is definitely a front-wheel drive biased all-wheel drive system. You can even look behind you in your rear view mirror, leaving a traffic light full throttle. You'll see 2 black rubber lines behind you, and that's just those front wheels giving just a little bit of slip. For the most part, you don't notice the front-wheel drive nature of this unless if you're really, really pushing it, but it is there. At speed on the highway, we have adaptive cruise control, which is one of the many expensive options in this GLA 35 AMG. It has steering assist, which you can only turn on and off in the menu. I wish there was a button for that on the steering wheel. But if you turn the system off, everything goes away. So that's fine. Works pretty well on back roads, works pretty well on the highway, and for the most part, it seems to sense your hand on the steering wheel as it should. You can skip 5-mile-an-hour increments here, and you can see 70 miles an hour here on the highway. This is a pretty quiet driving experience. Lots of following distance settings. The closest setting is pretty darn close, if I'm being honest. Let's go into Sport Plus mode again. Suspension stiffens up. Gearbox gets a little bit snappier. Brake pedals kind of squishy, but the brakes have good bite overall. And the mechanical grip from these tires is just awesome. You can really explore the limits of this, what do you want to call it? Hot hatchback? Tall hatchback? It's fun. It's got some personality. I like the paddle shifters. They feel awesome. And the snappiness of the DCT is nice once you get going. Love, love, love these steering wheel controls for drive mode selection. They're just fantastic. They're so easy to switch between individual, comfort. Let's talk ride quality. Read a Car and Driver article about this, and they complained about the stiffness over bumps. I would argue in comfort mode, ride quality is just fine considering what this is and the fact that it's got performance tires. Okay, yeah, there's a little bit of NVH transmitted through the cabin over bumps. That's pretty typical with any high-performance summer tire. But honestly, I'm pretty happy with the way this rides around our really rough Michigan roads this week. Got some big bumps here, and it pretty much soaks everything up in stride. Yes, it stiffens up significantly in Sport and Sport Plus mode, but I haven't complained about this once this week in terms of ride quality. It's actually pretty comfortable. Let's do a little launch control here. Nobody behind us. bit of turbo noise from the front there. Steering is ultra light. I like all the control weights too. It's nice having a column shifter, even for a vehicle like this. It all just works. It's nicely balanced. It cleans up the center area. Let's go into individual. We have soft suspension, but dynamic engine and advanced AMG dynamics. Under the bridge. I think most of the engine noise here is basically just kind of piped in. I wish this had a bit more exhaust valving, a bit more personality coming out of that exhaust. Maybe some burbles, maybe some pops. Subtly, of course, not overdone, but it would be nice to get a bit more personality out of the sound of this AMG GLA 35. Definitely a synthetic sound to that engine note. Once you get into kind of sport plus mode, comfort, that all sounds pretty natural. But that's what we get these days with turbocharged 4 cylinders. Okay, I think that's about all I have to say about the AMG GLA 35. Just a quick video tonight. Quick drive. Fun little car. Kind of pricey once you get into some options, but at its base price, it could be a pretty nice buy as a premium luxury performance hatchback / compact SUV. I think the performance here is adequate for the money. I think it's punches a little bit above what the numbers might suggest on the spec sheet. Only 302 horsepower. This feels pretty potent. It puts down its power pretty well. It's, again, German horsepower, so maybe it's a little bit underrated, but this feels pretty nice, and it's a good place to spend time. It's luxurious. I like all the appointments. It's convincing as an AMG product for a whole lot less money, and it's kind of an entry-level thing to have. Some people might really enjoy this. You can hear now the car is off. Startup is completely seamless with that 48-volt mild hybrid system. I read somewhere that fills in about, 10 or 12 horsepower in torque fill. So it's not that much, but here and there you notice it, you feel it, and it kind of makes a little bit of a difference. But you've got a power charge meter down here, regenerative braking, seamless starts. Honestly, I haven't really been turning stop-start off that much in this car just because it is integrated so well into the powertrain. Let's turn this off, do a quick walk around, and then we'll test out this Buamesta sound system.
Excuse me, your phone is still in the car.
Thank you. And she says that every time. Notice if you grab your phone before turning off the car. Here's your key fob. Nice AMG logo there. Button to pop the powered tailgate, and lock and unlock. That's about it. These wheels are super cool. And I like the blacked out exhaust tips too. This has all the elements of a hot hatchback. I actually didn't really realize these seats were as aggressive as they are, because they feel pretty comfortable. And I guess the bottom bolsters aren't that aggressive, but the side bolsters really do keep you hugged in here. All right, CarPlay fires right up. Let's get into our sound system test playlist here. We've got a volume scroll wheel right down here. I'd rather have a knob, but that works. Into drive, and we're off. I'd say for the money and in the class, the sound system is above average, but it's not blowing my mind. It's not class leading by any measure. It is enjoyable to listen to though. Alright, that gives you an idea. Alright guys, that's going to be it for this one. Thank you so much for watching. Go check out Lewis Jewelers. I'll put a link to this Black Bay Pro in the top comment. Go check it out, and I'm sure you'll see it in some more videos here soon. Yeah, I really like this watch. This is fun. And this AMG GLA 35 has been nice to spend the weekend as well. Overall, a good product from AMG, and nice to get back behind the wheel of an AMG vehicle, because they kind of have their own special flavor, their own special feel, and I think this GLA 35 captures that, albeit still at kind of a higher price point than I would like, but as the entry-level AMG, it gives you that fizz, which is, I think, as much as you can ask for something like this in this class. It's super practical, way more usable and spacious than I thought it would be, and the performance is entertaining as well. I will miss the AMG GLA 45, even though I never got to drive one, but I heard great things. Not sure why AMG didn't bring that back for the 24 model year. Maybe we'll see something in the future with a bit spicier of a powertrain, but until then, this is all we get, and those are my thoughts on it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys later. Take it easy.